Well, this is SquirrelCenter on the SquirrelCenter Network. Thank you for joining us on our inaugural edition. My name is Jixie Tang. To my left,
I'm Jamie Field.
And I'm Joe Bano. So yeah, guys, I mean, last year we did a little bit of some podcast action. We had, the late, the great Mike Troop coming in and doing a couple things, online. But, we decided to kick it up to the next level. Put it on video for you at home.
go big or go home.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So to tell you a little bit about us, the Squirrel Squad was founded in 2009 by Mike Troop. Ever since then, we've just been expanding. We have our website, GoSquirrels.com, Twitter, HCSquirrels. We have our own Facebook page, also Facebook.com/HCSquirrels. What are we about, gentlemen?
We're talking about a lot of sports articles. It can be friendly banter, it can be editorials, it can be analytical. We're really looking for anything that anything HC sports related. We're all about it. And we're also looking for new writers. So if you have anything you can contribute, absolutely send it on in.
Right, and as far as offline is concerned, I mean, basically the Squirrel Squad it's not, some people are like, oh, I don't want to join the club. Really, it's not a club. It's just something to keep you updated on what's going on with Haverford sports. Get out there, yell yourself hoarse, support some of your fans, support some of those teams. Just, get out there and have a good time.
Definitely. I think the main takeaway is, we are a completely student-run organization for the students, by the students. We're just here to support our friends, who happen to play sports, and, just enjoy ourselves while we're at it.
Right.
The games are always more fun when you get more people there. You get people a little riled up, and really support the teams to make sure that their success, continues. And fortunately, this season we've had some great stories so far, great storylines.
Definitely, and that brings us to our first segment, which we like to call Having a Day. This segment was founded last year, and basically, it's a time to talk about something to do with Haverford sports who've just been having a day. If you know Corey Waltz, one of the fantastic, great strength and conditioning coaches in the world, really, not just, the greater Philadelphia area. Oh, of course.
For sure.
One of his sayings, just having a day. If you're having a great day, you're just flying around, having a good time. So that's what we're going to talk about in this segment.
I mean, fortunately for us, I think most of the athletic teams on campus right now have been having a day. Not only having a day, but having a season. So, I mean, where should we start, boys?
I think we should start with Wednesday.
Yeah.
Today is, of course, Thursday. So yesterday, several Haverford sports teams, and by several I mean all Haverford sports teams, came away with the W. So can we talk about that a little bit before we get back to the season itself?
Absolutely. So all three fall women's teams, excluding the cross country team, traveled to Washington yesterday, and all three came away victorious. So we had the women's soccer team won by a score of 1-0 over WAC. Volleyball won 3-0, three sets to nothing, and field hockey came away with a late game rally. Yeah, 2-1 victory. So.
And these are all, huge games for our teams. I mean, as Jamie said, we've been having stellar seasons, but these wins late in the season really help out, especially against those conference opponents for the postseason.
Definitely. Absolutely. And to, go to their home, to take a victory away, that's big. That's real big.
As an athlete going to WAC, they have a phenomenal facility and a huge fan base. So being able to walk into their home and take a win away is a pretty big deal.
Right. Yeah. So I guess to all the athletes who competed yesterday, having a day.
Having a day. Congratulations.
One more thing we should note before they come in and kill us is that the Haverford men's soccer team also walked away with a pretty big win over Sinus. Whereas everyone else traveled to WAC, the men forwards over there, soccer team, took it over to Ursinus at their house and also walked away with a win. I think that was, 1-0?
1-0 win over Ursinus. The men's soccer team has been a tale of two seasons, starting the conference play 0-4, and now turning it around into 4 straight victories, and they put themselves in prime position to make the playoffs. And so it's been quite a run that they've been going on, and I know there's a lot of rally beers that are going on the men's soccer team. So.
I mean, I won't say that this was the cause, but Charlie Michael wasn't in class this morning at Bryn Mawr, so
I mean,
who knows?
I'm not surprised.
Speaking of Charlie, I think there was a recent profile of a player article on him. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that right around when the season started? Changing.
What are you trying to say here?
I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's just an odd coincidence.
Squad mojo, perhaps.
I mean, so basically, the second half of this season for the Fords has been huge. I mean, it's 4 conference opponents' victories, 5 in total, and one of them is number 2 in the conference, Gettysburg, at Gettysburg, and that hasn't happened for, I don't know, a billion years. So it's a huge win for the Fords, and they have great momentum coming into this the rest of the season.
Yeah, they had great performances. They've at the beginning of the year, all their games were lost in narrow 1-goal margins. And now they've turned it around and they've been winning in narrow 1-goal victories. Matt Weatherall's great header on Saturday against McDaniel sealed their fate to continue this streak, and then Alejandro's goal in the 65th minute against their only continued it. So they're really getting a lot of support from their seniors who are really stepping up. Can almost smell the conference playoffs in their midst, and really want to get a chance to experience those while they're in their 4 years at Haverford.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, in summary, all these teams are just having a day. Having a day.
But speaking of playoffs, I think another team team actually has clinched playoffs. I think that's women's soccer.
I think so.
Absolutely. And I wrote about the soccer team earlier. They're on a magical run this year. I mean, having lost 1 game this entire year,
which just happens to be the number 1 team in the conference.
Yeah.
Pretty tough opponent in Johns Hopkins.
Undefeated on the season.
Undefeated,
right?
16-0, I think.
Understandable to drop that game. I'm sure the Fords are eager to have a rematch against the Blue Jays in what could theoretically be the conference championship. So yeah, they've been firing on all cylinders this year, offensively, defensively. I think that they've allowed arguably the fewest goals in the conference, and they're just
I mean, right now they're outscoring opponents 32-11, and that's a huge margin.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So they've already punched their ticket into the postseason.
Sorry.
Go ahead, and it's only a matter of who they're going to play, and with Swarthmore coming up on Saturday, it's a seeding game at this point, and they look as confident as ever.
Yep, and another team with that same scenario set up is volleyball, women's volleyball here at Haverford. 5 teams get in, and right now Haverford is sitting at that 5th seed. However, Swarthmore is 1 step above them, and the team below them is 3 games back. So win or lose, they're in. And now it's just a matter of seeding. If they beat Swarthmore, they move up to the 4. If they lose, they stay in the 5. But they're in.
Right. And it's been kind of an up and down season for volleyball too, but they've been able to kind of right the ship as of late, and continue their dominance in the Centennial Conference as we've traditionally seen the past couple of years, and they're going to make it into the playoffs and probably do some substantial damage there for sure.
Oh yeah.
And we have one other team who's also in playoff contention right now, the field hockey team, Haverford Field Hockey. Right now, they're also in a very similar situation in that this next game will be completely crucial. If they win it.
Sorry about that cut there, folks. It might seem a little crazy. We're actually just briefly interrupted by Haverford Safety and Security, who thought we were burning the library down.
Put on the headlamps, because we are on fire!
I mean, it does happen. I mean, we've all, done our fair share of shenanigans, and so it's his job. It's a good deal.
We're saving most of it for Saturday, though, of course.
Oh yeah.
But
anyway, what we were talking about was field hockey before we briefly interrupted, and Jigsy was about to bring up the playoff contentions we got going on right now.
Absolutely.
Currently, the field hockey team is in a tie, but if we win, we'll break the tie, we'll move on, we'll be in the playoffs. They're coming off a 2-game win streak right now. Big win against Christopher Newport. What are they ranked 20th?
Totally. Christopher Newport actually 14th.
14th.
Better than that.
14th in the country.
Yeah, dropped the Saturday game against McDaniel, but rallied back late against the number 14 team in the country, and only continued that magic going into the WAC game yesterday, where they came down from a 1-goal deficit, netting 2 in the final.
2 late goals.
Yeah, in the final 20 minutes to steal the victory.
Right, and Jigsy's underplaying this a little bit. There are actually 4 teams that are tied for that last spot. Swarthmore being one of them. So this win is huge because one, it knocks out SWAT, and I'm not sure what the other two teams are doing. If they're playing each other, that might lead to an interesting, bye type of thing for the last spot. But if we beat SWAT, we bump up from 5-4 to 6-4. They're effectively knocked out, and we're basically in that last spot. So
yeah,
it's huge.
win and we're in, and that's all. It really comes down to that. It's a one-game playoff.
Yep, and speaking of win and we're in, the other team we got looking at, men's soccer, has been deciding their own fate for a while now. Like we've been saying, they 5-game winning streak. It's a pretty big deal, and right now they hold their destiny in their hands. A victory in SWAT basically puts them in. Jamie, were you saying?
I was talking to Matt Weatherall a couple days ago, Captain Matt Weatherall, defensive player for the Fords, and he was saying that he was reading on the blog post a couple of weeks ago when they were 0-4, dead last in the conference, that the playoff race was a 6-team race, and as you would imagine, they weren't included in that, and so they're pretty proud of the run that they've been on. Getting to 4-4 now and having the opportunity, this is a one game victory and they'll be into the playoffs. Now there's a couple scenarios about how this would work and who they would play. There's if a couple things go the way they should, we could theoretically be playing again on Wednesday, hosting Swarthmore once again, due to the tiebreakers and how that all works. So it's an extremely exciting game. It's going to be the last game of the day. And there's really no reason not to be there. I mean, honestly.
I think it's a great segue into Saturday to talk
absolutely.
about. So this Saturday, my colleague here, Jixie's up Showdown Saturday. It's basically a very special day in the hearts of Haverford sports fans, where we can all get together on Halloween day and go to just cheer on our sports fans against, SWAT, who we don't like very much. I think I can say that.
I think let's just admit it. SWAT sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it out there. We put it on T-shirts, so we can say this on national television. SWAT sucks.
Heard it here first, folks. Squirrel Squad Network. Breaking news. The Trico leader.
So basically, what we're looking at: 4 games at Haverford. So plenty of options we got looking at. At 12 o'clock. We have women's soccer.
Got a doubleheader, yeah.
Doubleheader, women's soccer, and also at 12 noon is field hockey. So they're playing at the same time, and they're right next door to each other. So you can easily duck back and forth.
Check both of them out for sure.
So we'll be doing, right, guys?
Yeah, we're going to be going back and forth between both games.
We'll be in every game, so we hope you will be too. After that, at 2:30, volleyball plays SWAT inside, so if you're a little chilly, because I think Jamie was talking about a little weather issue, but real fans brave any storm. Get to move inside for a little bit, get into that beautiful GIAC, the Integrated Athletic Center, and just bundle up and get warm, and watch us beat up on SWAT yet again.
Watch the volleyball team kind of show their reigning dominance over SWAT. The Hood Trophy stays in our case. It's going to stay in their case this year. We're going to get 4 points, and then finally at 3 o'clock.
It culminates in once again,
a do or die situation, and I feel like we wouldn't have it any other way. Win and we move on. It's as simple as that. So we're expecting big numbers. We're expecting SWAT to bring big numbers, and there's definitely gonna be some friendly banter going back and forth, and we're gonna bring it.
I mean, last year, guys, at the SWAT game, this SWAT men's soccer game was at SWAT on the turf, and I will make a side note and say that I don't think soccer should be played on turf. I'm not a big fan. I don't like the idea. Anywho, that was just my sidebar to my colleagues. Last year, I think we had 2 school buses worth of fans, plus the people that drove themselves. I'd say somewhere in the ballpark of 250 people.
And Joe, do you remember the second half at all, or were you? I don't remember seeing you in the second half.
No, I tried to watch from my vantage point, but I was asked to move along.
That's a nice way of saying it. Yeah, asked to leave the premises.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing we want to see here this year. We want people to get riled up. We want people to if you have to watch the game from 88, from the parking lot, by all means, let's make sure.
All right, I'm going to clarify this. What happens? I'll give you the brief story. I was kicked out of the SWAT soccer game last year, and I'll tell you why. Unfortunately, it is true that this matchup has not been kind to the Haverford men's soccer team in the past couple of years. And when SWAT put in their first goal, a few of their fans came in front of us and made some lewd gestures. So I walked down to ask them to stop, and they ran back to their stands. So I yelled to them to please come back and say that, which they did not. And then their athletic director came out of nowhere, accused me of saying some pretty nasty things, and I was escorted off the premises, where I watched the remainder of the game as Quail Man in the parking lot. But, you know, that was last year. It's going to be different. I'm not going to be Quail Man this year, so that's already one difference. And that's something I did want to say. You know what? Most people are probably going to celebrate Halloween on Saturday. Wear your costume. Wear your costume.
Do it.
Why not? The shirts aren't in yet, as Jixie will talk about in a hot second. But why not wear your costumes? It's terrifying. Would you want to play a sporting event if you knew that, like, say, the Teletubbies were up in the stands just screaming at you and hating your guts? No, you wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
So, Jixie wanted to bring up some
Yeah,
t-shirts.
let's talk about that.
Sounds like some Winter Walton Classic. But to move on to t-shirts, right now our order forms are still up and going. You can find it at www.gosquirrels.com. On the right-hand side, you will find the link. Place your orders there. It's a pretty hot ticket item. Remember, 20% of all proceeds will go towards charity. And, you know, I think we might be planning something a little bit special.
Something's in the works.
Just, you know,
Something's
hang on, folks. You know, I don't wanna let the cat out of the bag, but something. I hear something a little bit about Battle Black, and we'll just leave it at that. But you know,
just 2 words: blackout. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. You know.
It's best that you invest right now. Just be part of the movement. Get part of the movement, and you'll reap the benefits later.
Yep. So check out the shirts. Place your orders. We're using all electronic now, Google Docs. So everything's just boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Certainly a lot easier. And guys, last year we had, I don't know, 300
shirt sales.
You see them everywhere. Just bright red, Haverford Squirrel Squad everywhere. Hop on the train, guys. Get nutty. It's been on the shirts for a while. It's a lifestyle, and it just shows that support. Like, I mean, I know as an athlete that, you know, if I'm walking to class, even if it's not my season, and I see a Squirrel Squad T-shirt, I get a smile on my face because I know there's someone who's supporting Haverford sports. And that's not to say that people who don't have T-shirts don't support Haverford sports, but it's a visual sign. And those athletes do notice.
And in terms of designs, I think this is one of the best ones we've had. I mean, the other two, no knock on the other designers, but this one's a great one. You know, you got the squirrel on top, you got all the other 10 teams below in a pile.
They're basically buried in a hill.
I mean, that's what squirrels do. We did.
Put them 6 feet under.
So.
What do we? Yeah, we can't not do it. It's basically what we're trying to say.
I mean, ultimately, if you're nutty and you know it, buy a shirt.
I like it.
Can't beat it.
All right, guys. So I think I want to move over to this Saturday, talk a little predictions with you guys. Just prepared some notes. All right. So first off, women's soccer starts at 12. Like we said before, there's the Squirrels are pretty much in, but this win would be a nice little segue right into the playoffs.
What? I think you know they win. They're locked into the number 2 seed, and that's huge. That's huge. I mean, that means that any one of the teams that they'll play, they've already tied or beaten, and it sets up perfectly for them to you know have a rematch with. I'm sure that they're you know chomping at the bit to get back at the Blue Jays.
For sure.
So yeah, that game I'm looking forward to. I mean. Meg Boyer's been hot all year. Katie Van Aken's been on a scoring run recently. You know, I think they're going to put it together. I think they're going to put together a nice game. I'm predicting 2-0.
I'm right there with you. I think SWAT. You know, don't count them out. I think they're definitely good. They have a lot of offensive powerhouses, but our goals. I mean, they're coming from a lot of places. It's going to be hard to stop us. I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 Haverford.
Okay.
I think you guys are completely underrating our team. I think that dynamic duo of Boyer and Van Aken will be impossible to stop. My personal prediction, 3-1. You can find me, you know, if you want to get in on a little action over-under. What?
For those of you at home, Katie Van Aken and Meg Boyer both have 6 goals apiece on the season. So, certainly, you know, put them in the net. And there have been some pretty goals. I've been to a lot of games this season.
Nice high shots.
Some pretty goals. I mean, I saw Meg land one from must have been 40. Nice chip shot. Goalie's off her line. Just beautiful.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
So they have the feet. They have the feet.
Absolutely.
All right. Field hockey.
Next sport.
Talk about
Field
hockey. Yeah.
All right, so basically,
I guess because I'm a little bit, I've been following the field hockey
Go
team
for
for a while now, and this year it was sort of interesting to see what's going on as we lost two living legends, so to speak, in Alex Waleko and Maggie Cronin. Sorry, Maggie Cronin.
should come in here.
Forgot to change your name.
Yeah. But I think our players this year just stepped up big time. I mean, with a new goalie in Sydney Hyder.
Yep.
Sydney Hyder's been awesome. We got Mary Hobbs for Heisman. Hashtag Hobbs for Heisman. We're making it happen.
Probably averaging a goal a game at least.
If you watch her play, it's amazing. Then we got Blazin' Bryn right there, just bam, just running down the sideline like nobody's business.
As a goalie, I will say that goalie play should never be overlooked. Right now, Sid's got 2 clean sheets and a 75% save percentage.
That's
3
pretty
out of every 4 shots are not going in the net. That's huge. Huge. And off the top of my head, I think that Bissy's got 6 goals. So
I know Juliana Morgan has got a great handful. Yeah.
And Hobbs has 18. So
we spread them around a little bit.
yeah, there you go. So basically, I'm gonna be a little critical. I'm gonna say that we've had a little trouble finding the net.
Box.
These
Cage.
Sorry,
Cage,
the
box.
cage, the box,
Cage. I think it's
the
cage.
scoring apparatus.
Yeah.
But I think this is something we've been obviously practicing on. We've been working on that shot. We've been working on that shooting technique. Our cornering. We're out cornering other teams in the games that we've been playing all season. 2-1 at least. So I'm gonna say it's a pretty close game. Like I said, SWAT and Haverford 4 and 5 on this 5 and 4, on the season. They're fairly evenly matched, but I say to the Fords, push late in the game and get it 8-5.
8-5. Ooh,
Impressive.
bold. Mr. Field?
It's a lot of firepower. I'm gonna say it's gonna be more of a defensive matchup. I think nerves are gonna be working, and I feel like typically when we get these big games, a la the NCAA basketball championship, NFL championship, they're typically more low scoring than you'd expect. So I'm gonna say the Fords are gonna start hot. I think they're gonna have the home field advantage. There's gonna be plenty of fans out there. There's gonna be a little bit of a signage going out. We're gonna unveil a little bit of signage, I think, at this game, and I'm gonna give
You're gonna want to be there for this.
Oh yeah.
I'm calling a 4-2 victory for the Fords.
4-2. All right. Well, gentlemen, if I may be so bold,
Here we go.
this is what I think. It's gonna start out. It's gonna be a little bit chippy in the beginning. I think that we're gonna get out to a quick 2-1 advantage at half. And then, you know what? I have a feeling SWAT might tie it, but it will come down to late game heroics by the one and only Mary Hobbs. Heroics by Hobbs. You heard it here, folks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, sparked by Mary Hobbs. We're going to pull away. In the end, it's going to be 6-2 Haverford. Let's go.
I agree with late game heroics, but I'm gonna disagree with you on the person.
Oh, okay.
There's someone who's been scoring some goals, but fairly underrated, and that's Bridget. Bridget has been...
B-Gibbs
has been killing it this year. Honestly, when you see her on the field, most of our team have phenomenal stick skills. Okay, just checking stick skills. Fantastic stick skills. But every game I've seen, even if she hasn't got the goals, and she might have gotten an assist, she will slice and dice and break ankles at the 10-yard mark, which just shouldn't happen because their entire team is basically at the 10-yard mark. And the only reason that she doesn't get these goals and will probably get an assist is because the entire team crashes down on her and then she has to pass it off. Or she just gets swamped because, she just can't get it out. But she's finding that space and she's going to find the cage.
She's really the playmaker on the team.
Exactly.
She makes everything go. She's the cog that makes the machine run. So she's gonna be breaking down that defense. And if she's not getting a point out of it,
She's
it's
the
alright
cause
because
of it,
she's the one that's making it happen.
They don't make hockey assists in field hockey, but it counts. If Bridget can slice and dice the whole team, and then 3 passes later there's a goal, that should be Bridget's.
We should call her Il Illusionista.
All right.
I'm just nickname right there. But before we move on, guys, I just want to talk defense a little bit. Defense. And I really think for that 6-2, watch out for our defensive rock. Roxy.
Good lord.
Well said.
Every time I'm on the stands watching a game, even when she's passing the ball, I fear for the girl in front of her's life. She's got a cannon. She's got a couple goals on the season.
Oh, on those corners, she's their trigger man. She's
is
ripping
pulling
shots.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't want to stand in there, even
No.
with the padding.
No,
Not even a little
absolutely
bit.
not.
All right, so we're gonna move on here. Volleyball, like we talked about, they're in. They got the 5 or the 4. That's what they're looking at. So it's just a question of seeding right now. If Haverford wins, we move to the 4 and we play. Or we won't have to play the 1 seed, which at this point is I think it's Hopkins.
Yeah,
Hopkins is
they're 24 on the season. They're doing pretty well. I think they're undefeated in conference, so they're on a roll.
So that is big because I think that we would like a couple tune-up games before we have to head into a championship game against them because they are a very high quality, high caliber team. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I looked at the stats across the board. I mean, I think it's a toss-up. I really can't make the claim. SWAT's been winning more sets in conference, but Haverford has been, winning more sets down the stretch. It's just, honestly, I really can't say. I honestly think this is going to be a 5-setter. I think it is. We've only had a few of them in season. Most of them were wins, so that does help us when we do go to 5. But I think it's going to be, if I had to peg it, I'd say SWAT 1, Haverford 1, SWAT 2, and then we win the next 2. But I think it's going to be very close. It's a very tough team. You cannot look at them lightly.
I'm gonna predict a 3-1 victory for the Fords. I was there last year when they during the Centennial Conference playoffs. We were the number 1 seed. We were hosting it, and we got upset by SWAT in the 1-4 matchup, and it was devastating. And I know how bad these seniors want to be. Janita Boston, Laura Ramos, they're there to play. And I think they're going to really, protect Gooding Arena and really make sure that that we bring home the victory so we can improve our seeding.
Ramos has been killing it. Just some quick stats right here. Leading the team in digs, 362. Yeah. It's a huge number, and and in kills with 279. She's really just crushing it out there, and I had completely forgot about that. That's a great point. It's very hard to beat a team twice. Yep. Very hard.
Absolutely.
Especially our girls.
All I'm going to say is kill, Quakers, kill. I don't think we're going to drop a set, guys. Maybe this is hubris here, but I honestly think that when they step foot on our home court, they don't stand a chance. Not a chance. I'm telling you, it's gonna be in 3, guys. Hold me to it.
Jigsy did say this earlier. He's trying to make a girl cry. I'm just saying it. It
happens in volleyball,
He's gonna be
it's a really big game changer.
If it happens, it happens. I don't know. I'm just kind of.
So 3-0. Just sweep.
It's clean.
That'll be nice because then it'll be the fans can get out early and hop back over to Walton. Yeah.
Speaking of Walton, the final game of the day, the headliner, this is, as we've said many a time today, a must-win. Must-win for the men's soccer team.
Huge game.
Must-win. All right. I don't think I'm going to be contested on this. There is not a team in the country that the Fords want to beat more than Swarthmore. Not one. Not a one.
Absolutely.
They want this. They have the momentum. They have everything going their way. Beginning of the season, to talk with the coach, little question as to, where the goals are going to come from, and all he kept saying was, the goals will come. The goals will come. The last 5 games, 10 goals. 10 goals in the last 5 games. They are coming. I have a 2-1 victory on a late game goal. I'm not sure who it's going to be by, but I think that we are going to put 2 in a row, having been down an early 1.
I completely agree with you. I know SWAT's weak this year. They're feeble. They've had losses to Ursinus. Ursinus has 1 conference win. The Ursinus soccer team this is the highlight of their soccer playing careers. Another thing SWAT lacks this year is the Ford killer. He scored in every one of the last 3 games against us.
2 in the last.
That being Morgan Langley. The flying Hawaiian. The kid's a pretty big punk.
2 years ago, he showed me his nipple. All right, that's
obscene.
what happened.
That's just obscene.
Running off the field, I think he was going for like a shirt lift, like maybe a Mia Hamm-esque type sports bra showing, but he ended up just lifting up part of his shirt and showing me his nipple. So I think that tells you a lot about a person.
It wasn't even that impressive.
Not really impressive.
It was not a good
It's a
nipple.
little pudgy, pretty gross nipple.
Kind of painful.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's not there, and that is huge because, as Jamie has said, he's definitely put a lot of goals in. As much as we don't like him, he was a very good player. I think he was Conference Player of the Year last year.
He's currently playing for the MLS
And
Union, so he's
he's
clearly doing well, and we acknowledge that he's a great player, but
he's not there, and that's what's important.
He's not there, so they don't really have a leader on the team or a leading goal scorer. They're a strong squad throughout. They are. But every year we've played SWAT close, and it's those late game heroics that make or break. And this year, I think the team's they're riding a wave right now, and I think it's gonna ride right through. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be back and forth. I think it's gonna be knotted at one going into overtime, and then I think in overtime we're gonna pull it out. I think we're gonna pull out the victory, and we're gonna punch our ticket into the postseason.
You got players. You gonna put that one in?
You know what? I think it's gonna come from someone fairly unconventional. I think it's gonna be there's a couple players that have been that have started scoring early in the year and then kind of have missed their have missed the mark as of late. I'm gonna put it on sophomore David Robinson. He started the year off hot. Cooled down a little bit, but I think he's gonna be in the right place at the right time and he's gonna be able to put it in for the win.
I gotta say, Jamie, I agree with you in time, but not in score. I think that it's gonna be a little more fireworks going on. I think it's gonna be 2-2 going into overtime.
All right.
And I have D-Rob, who coincidentally lives above me with the assist, but not the goal. I think I've seen just beautiful passes by him, and I think that he's gonna be the one that just lands that perfect cross that is just gonna finish it. And another prediction from me, I do believe that there is gonna be some very inspired play by one Ford Borman. I think that he's gonna be inspired. Ford, I know you're watching, I know you're listening. Make me proud.
There it is.
Squirrel Squad Nation calling you out. National television. Let's see it. I like that call on the cross. I think that some senior leadership is going to come into play here. I think Weatherall's going to come in from the back and put this one in.
That would be the dream to the end of the season, and
I mean, he's fought through some pretty serious injury over his time here. He's still alive, still kicking. No pun intended. Sorry, that was horrible. I apologize. But you know what? I mean, he's had a couple. I think he's got 2 goals on the season. They're not looking at him. They're not scouting. They're not saying we need to mark him. He's a tall guy. He's got very powerful legs. He's going to get up there. He's going to get one. I think it's just going to be, it's not going to be spectacular. It's not going to be a header from 10 yards. Go! It's going to be, on the line, maybe a dribbler into the corner, but it's going in.
Might be ugly, but goal's a goal.
Goal is a goal.
We'll take it. We'll take it. And with that, let's, I think we've already reiterated it a number of times, but how crucial it is to come to all these games, and regardless of whether you've been a casual fan throughout the fall season or whether you've really been into the games, we need everyone for SWAT.
Right, guys. I mean, and we said it, 300 people at one game last year. I would love it if we could have 500 people in between the games. They don't have to be in one place, but we're mixing it up. And I understand. Some of you probably have work to do. You have stuff to do. I'm a senior. I'm writing a thesis. I have way more work than you. No offense, but I do. It's true. And I'm going to be there the entire day. Plan the rest of your week. We're putting this up. You'll probably see it on Friday. Or maybe even tonight, depending.
So,
get your work done. Get out there. These teams need you. When you're out on the field and you look into the stands and you see, a paltry few, it really puts a damper, on the whole, on just everything. I mean, the game is great. I love playing, but I also love fans more. I love being a fan. I love seeing fans. We need you out there. You don't have a shirt, that's fine. Like we've said, wear your costume. I'll be in my costume. I mean, even if I'm the only one, like I was 2 years ago for the SWAT game, it's still worth it, Just get out there, be wild, get nutty, have a great time.
I don't think I can say it any better. I mean, guys, this is going to be our version of college game day. You know what? To my left is going to be Kirk Herbstreit. To my right is going to be the other guy whose name eludes me right now.
Lee Corso.
Lee Corso.
I'm telling you guys, this is not something you want to miss. This is going to be so much fun. We're going to be out there. We're going to be loud. We're going to be obnoxious. We're going to be rowdy. Wendy might get mad at us. Who knows?
She has before.
Whatever.
It's not the end of the world. And if you are nervous about that, she is a sweet, sweet, sweet individual. She'll give you a little like, come on, and then that's it. She's never going to be like, you, get out of here. Although I've been very close to that. And as a great man once said, we can't just have a couple of nuts out there. We can't just have a couple of nuts. We need a whole sack of nuts out there.
You need
A
a lot
whole
of
sack
nuts.
of nuts. And that's all it comes down to. We want you out there. The teams want you out there. You want you out there, even if you're not 100% sure yet. Make sure you bundle up, get out there, and support your teams.
Yep.
And with that,
And with that,
I mean, thank you guys for joining us for the inaugural edition of SquirrelCenter on Squirrel Squad Network, the Trico-wide leader. Join us next time. Thank you. Have a good day.
I'm Joe Banno.
I'm James Gill.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Take